Well, good evening everybody, and welcome to this latest job that I've got on. This is up in the Brecon Beacons. This is the fabulous view that we've got from the barns. So if I turn the camera around, at the rear end of the barns, this is the rear elevation. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of fenestration looking this way. There is a roof light up there from a bedroom to get that fantastic view. But what I thought I'd do is give you an update. So I know a lot of you have been seeing this on social media of what I've been doing, and it's great to share. Now I know some of you guys who were in last year's mentoring group. I was really fortunate enough to be able to bring you up here before we started, and there's an awful lot of stuff been going on, but a few shocks as well, if I'm honest. You can see this part of the building here. I might just take you around this side. So this gable end here, so this was all stonework before, just like that main gable there. And here it all is, in fact, here it all is. Let me just show you some of this stone. I mean, you couldn't buy this stuff now, you really couldn't. Look at the size of some of the timbers. You've got a coin stone there, there's some huge stuff, coin stone, a nice long piece, and there's some other nice pieces, another one there, some huge pieces down here, and you can see another large piece and a nice coin stone there, another nice square coin stone there. Remember, these barns were built roughly mid 1800s by hand by farmers, so no stonemasons as such, by farmers. So, and here's the thing, this gable wall here, and I found out from some pictures there was another bit of a building here, and that gable wall was not very good. Now, considering we come into the farmyard from this track, people are going to see that elevation first, and this is the 2-bedroom section of what we call barn 1. That elevation really needed to be nice. It needed to have the right appearance. In fact, if I just take you over here to give you an indication, as you come down the access track, you see this building first. You see this building, this is a converted building. By the way, that building on the end is called the Old House. And talking to the lady, there's quite a lot of history with this barn. We'll go towards the story when I sell. That part of the building there is 1350. So 1350, and this barn here, so that was the old cow shed attached to the old house, which has been converted now as two bedroom bungalows, or sort of split level, not split level, sorry, story and a half with bedrooms in the roof. But as I say, we got that coming in, and then we've got that. So that elevation really needs to stand out and be good. So we bit the bullet, and because we're putting a window in the top section of the window of the gable, with stonework, you can't just cut a hole. You know, by the time you take it all out and you run, you get a massive opening because the stones are just knitted together. So we decided we were going to take down the sort of stonework inside and out on that gable. We're going to drop the outside skin, because the stone is in 2 skins, and then rebuild it up. But guess what? It came down. The building inspector said that it's going to have to come down. When that came down, that corner was loose. I was on holiday at the time. Adrian messaged me and said this wall wasn't stable. Now, where that window is in the middle there was a bulge above the window with stonework. There was a bulge inside. So basically, when we took it all down, it just nearly fell down. So basically, all that has come down. Now, the blockwork is block on flat, but of course, under building regulations, we've got to put a foundation down there. So we've literally had to dig down out to requisite 900mm and put concrete in there. So there's 8 cube of concrete gone in there. We managed to save, you can just about see, we managed to save that pillar there, because there's an opening all the way. So we managed to save that pillar there on the left, but as you can see, there's blockwork there. That blockwork pillar, that stonework pillar, which is now blockwork, had subsided. And the reason for the subsidence is there is a rainwater pipe in the gap that's just been discharging for years into that space, and it's clearly washed away the fines in the ground. That pillar was leaning, and it was, we knew that one we did know that one was going to have to be rebuilt. So I'll take you closer up in a minute to show you that and show what we've done, because of course we've had to knit blockwork, regular blockwork, into irregular stone. The other shock that we had was this area over here. So we had a bit of a bulge and a few repairs in the stonework in this section, and I had the stonemason up, and in fairness to him, he said to me, to get that nice, we're going to have to take it down. We couldn't really make that wall look good. And remember, we're going to be asking 300,000+ for these houses. It has to be right. So, you know, rose tinted glasses and that, we thought we could repair it. And then you have to sort of accept it has to come down. So we've got 6 by 4, 24 square meters of stone walling going in there. Again though, and if I just take you a bit closer, because I want to stay awake because the boys are working on the scaffolding. If I take you a bit closer, the inside of the wall was really poor. It was like this. It was just like this. We had a lot of growth in the wall, and it had eaten away inside, such that the inside of the wall was nothing more than just dirt. And that's what we've got. So really, it was the right decision to do. What we're doing here at the moment, we've got a steel beam, which I'll show you in a second. We've got a steel beam to go across that opening, because there's a 1.5 story glazing there. Steel beams here on the floor. So while I'm over here, I thought I'd show you this as well. So again, with the best will in the world, we had 3 A-frames on that roof there. And from the ground, and we got up on ladders, we had a look at them. But Rob, our specialist carpenter, he said to me, Mike, they're gone. And of course, if you remember, there's purlins, and then there was rafters, and then there was tin sheets on top of here. Well, of course, when we take the tin sheets off, this is what we find. So the timber here was rotten. There's a lot of woodworm in it. And again, because we're using and we're having brand new property, you know, we just can't have this. So it's a bit of a shock. And believe you me, it's not cheap. So we've had to take, one of them just came apart. These 2 we've kept, but we're going to keep these as a pattern, because we have got now over here the new timbers for the frames, and Rob there, the carpenter, he's going to be making them up and follow this pattern. And here's what I've asked him to do. These pegs, these wooden pegs here, we've kept them all. So all these wooden pegs, 150 odd year old, they're solid. So we're going to put these back in to keep as much authenticity as possible. So we have them all collected here. But again, if I show you this side, again, we've got woodworm, which literally takes away and degenerates the timber. It's kit work, it's all dusty. Now, if I asked you to saw through here, you'd be a while. But at the end of the day, it's not great. So, and these 2 lengths of timber here, they came from inside of the floor in that barn. We're going to keep these, and we're going to reinsert them into the timber frame purely as feature. So we're going to keep these. I know they're woodwormed. We'll treat them, but once they've been treated, they'll be fine. But they're not going to be structural. They're purely cosmetic. We're going to keep that, because I was really desperate to keep as much of the original features as possible. So here's the shocker. I put this here for you to see. So again, when we were looking at the roof from the inside, we knew we were going to have to do all this raftering. This was all, we knew we were going to have to put new rafters in throughout. But the purlins, and the purlins are the timbers that run horizontally between the A-frames onto which the rafters sit. So you've got the rafter going from the ridge to a purlin, to the purlin, and then onto the wall plate. So effectively the rafter is supported in 4 places. Now I'll show you one that we have over here, and I put it aside again. When we got close and looked closely, some of them are badly warped. I got them all out the back, and I'll show you. Some are badly warped. And the question is when you're running rafters, you have to pack them all. And it was decided we were going to change them all. And that was a big, expensive decision. So we ordered 60 purlins in, and incredibly, we got our materials from a local builder merchant. They have a not joinery shop, a timber yard, and here they are. Now, if you look up there, there's quite a lot. There's 4 per bay, so there's already 4, 8, 12, 16, nearly 24 gone in there already. I've still got these to do this section and next section. This timber here we've got in the first A-frame when we've looked closely, and we've had a structural engineer up. That has gone, that's rotten. So we've got to build a new A-frame. So here's the eye-watering fact. That timber there and those timbers there and the red stuff on the roof has just set me back 6 grand, purely in timber. It's shocking. The price of timber these days is shocking. So that's 6 grand on timber that I wasn't expecting to spend. And the other eye-watener is the other cost of other timbers. I'll show you in a second. But here is one of the purlins. So you can see the problems that we had, and quite rotten. And some of them were really good from the underside, but when we took the tin sheet off, they weren't good at all. So let me take you inside. How are we doing for time? 11 minutes. I want to keep this interesting. Keep it under 20 minutes for you. So as I just mentioned when I was standing over here, this stone pillar here is the original. And when we had this one, it had leaned, and it was because of this rainwater pipe discharging into the ground here. And as I've told, when we've done the subject of subsidence and recognising subsidence in the group mentoring, water discharging into a constant area washes away the underground, and that pillar literally moved. So we had to rebuild this pillar in blockwork. On the inside here we're having timber frames, so it doesn't matter. But we've set this stonework back. If you can see here, this concrete line, we've set it back about 300 mil. So there's going to be stone around the corner and down there, which is part of the original. Here is where we had the very nasty crack. So we've done our best to tuff this in, so when it's timber frame, that's all tied in. So one of the first jobs we had to do, other than the road, is put a concrete slab in here because of all the scaffolding. Because of course, with the guys working on such high roof there, it was firstly very important that we got scaffolding on the outside, but also on the inside, so we've got platforms for them to work off. So before we put the concrete slab in, we had to put hardcore, damp-proof membrane, and we had to set the drains in place. So I've got my sink waste here, I've got my water coming in here from the outside, I've got a soil pipe here for my ensuite, from my downstairs WC, apologies. So here we have an opening through into what is going to be the bath, the 2-story bedroom section, sorry. There will be a stairs coming up here, and it'll turn left and it'll come up this way. So I've got a bedroom up there, I've got a bedroom and bathroom here. So I've got a bathroom in this part of the room here. So bathroom in that corner, and then the rest of this space is going to be a bedroom. Originally, this was an original floor, as I mentioned, and this is the area where we had the repairs. So this is all new. We'll be building a timber frame inside here now, and that'll give me my thermals. So I need a 100 mil timber frame, and again we've got a brand new floor in here with C24 treated timber, and this is the wall we managed to keep. But here's the thing, those walls that came down weren't dissimilar to this. And I was shocked when Adrian sent me a picture when I was on holiday, and all this had gone. And we'd already put the floor in as well, but hey ho, these things happen. It is costing me a lot more money, and we have over £50,000 worth of materials on site. We've got all the slates, which I'll show you on the other side in a minute. I take you around. Now, part of the planning permission, I think some of you have I've told you the story, but when we bought the barns, there was no planning permission to use this land here as gardens, which was crazy. So I got the vendor to get planning permission so we can use this as gardens, which makes common sense. And what's part of that planning permission is that we have to build a trellis along here and plant ivy, dogweed, and some honeysuckle to screen off that barn, which is fine. So as we're in the before the autumn here, and we're looking to get sales going perhaps in the spring, we're getting on with this now, so it's mature or matured-ish by the time the spring comes around. So we've got our gardener guy Jason here, he's doing that. So while I'm here, this is nap time. So last weekend, back holiday Monday, I had Mark the sandblaster here because all this walling here was covered in whitewash. And it took him the best part of a day to clean off all this. It's quite dusty, but there is a section here that we threw a bucket of water over the other day. I hope on this camera you can see the sort of difference in the wall where we've thrown a bucket of water just to get it clean. Part of what we're going to be doing here is repointing, but this stuff is the original lime mortar pointing, and believe it or not, the red in the mortar, the red toning, is the earth. So they've mixed years and years ago, they've mixed cement or lime mortar, lime cement with the earth to create the mortar. You see it's quite grainy. So we're going to match this best we can. I'm not going to hack all this off, only to replace it with something else. And there's nothing wrong with it. There will be some areas of making up, which we'll take that out and we'll make good those areas. So while I'm here, here's another purlin that came down. Again, from some aspects and vision point of view, it didn't look too bad. But then when we get up close, you can see how nasty and rotten they are. So again, because we're building new, it's got to be right. And it's got to be right. So here are the rest of the timbers. Now, excuse the mess, but they've literally just lobbed them off the roof. I've stacked these here a little bit tidier for you, so you can see, but you can see some of the shapes on the timbers now that we've brought down. So not only some of them badly rotten, but some of them are badly misshaped as well. So again, oh, by the way, so here's the A-frame that just fell apart. So here's the thing, see the mark number 2, that's the section number 2. Here you can see where it all was, and it's come all down. So what I've asked the guys to do is any timber that we pull out of here, because this is all oak, any timber that's any good. So for example, this piece here that's bent as a banana, there's some woodworm on the end. It's not too bad in the middle, some woodworm on the end, but that's dead now anyway. I'm going to utilize this timber everywhere inside the property where I can, as features, heads over doors, anywhere I can reutilize this timber purely as decorative and not structural, of course. But I just want to keep as much character in this building as I can. So I've now come around the back, I've come into barn 2, and we've got an opening from this section of the barn into that bedroom section there. So if I take you all the way over here, so I'm now at the top end of the lounge. Over there where the pipes are, there's a kitchen, a utility room and a downstairs toilet. So that's all in that corner. This particular barn has the feature of this massive door opening here, as does the other one. But it also has a similar massive opening here. Regretfully, not a great view. But we'll try and sort that out. But we can't have everything the way we want it. So we've formed this opening in this stonework here, and as I mentioned to you earlier, when you're cutting an opening in stone, it's not that simple. So from this opening we've had to go further. Adrian's blocked it up here, but on the left, rather than trying to knit bricks and blocks to try and close that off, he's just literally poured concrete. He's shuttered and poured concrete in there. And of course the concrete will run into all the gaps and bind it all together. So that's all been shuttered and bound up. And then if I just finally take you into this section, this is the 2-story bedroom section of this part of the barn. And here's another eye waterer. These joists are spanning 5 meters. My specification said that they're to be 400 millimeters apart. Because these joists are C24, and they're 8x3 in old money, so that's 75mm by 225. He asked for them to be at 300 centres, which we did. But this whole section of the floor here, just this floor, all this timber, is 2.5 grand in timber. That's how much timber's gone up. So just this floor area here that you can see here, this floor's cost me 2.5 grand purely in timber. This price of timber is just rocketing up. So while I'm here, I'm just going to share this with you as well. So over here, we've dropped the, and we've built in rather than dropped, we've built the joists in, and you can see the black a membrane. It's damp-proof course. We've wrapped the ends of the joist in damp-proof course. That protects the end of the joist. And over on this side, we've bolted a bearer onto the wall and taken our joists in. Now, we've got acro props here, as you can see as well. And the reason for that is whilst we've bolted, a roll bolted into, or fissure bolted into the wall, we are drilling into stonework, and maybe we're hitting the mortar, which is not solid, but we're going to be building a timber frame in here. So on this particular section of wall, we're going to make this a diaphragm wall. So we're going to, or a structural wall, just like you would have in a timber frame. So we're going to have this as a stud wall, but we're going to cover it with a, well, in fact, I was going to say OSB, but OSB has gone so much expensive these days, it's more expensive than ply. So we're going to ply it instead, because ply is cheaper. But as you know, ply is even stronger. So that wall, when that wall is built along here, that's going to give that extra strength to all this floor. But as you can see, it's a substantial floor. And what my design is this is going to be a bedroom. I'm going to have a bathroom here. You can see that we put our soil pipe in. And those of you who saw my earlier videos have seen that I leveled all the drains out. I've left this floor back here because I'm going to have a full height gallery here to let lots of light into this area. And then above there, I'm going to have a sort of gallery area, a sort of study open to the front here, because you can see it's now 4:30 and it's a glorious day, and I just hope it stays like this. So I hope you've enjoyed that. It's 20 odd minutes long. We'll have some questions by all means after this, but I hope you enjoyed that. Rather than me giving you a display of pictures and talking through the pictures, I thought it'd be better for me to do you a video. So yeah, that's it. One thing I haven't shown you, I don't think, from the front here, was the arrangement of the roof. If I can sort of take you over here, you can see the extent of it. It's really coming together now. So you can see now we've now got the roof coming together, and our roofer is due on the 27th, and it'd be great to see that going. And over here, which you might have spotted earlier on in the video, here are all my slates. They're sitting here. Now the reason why we've got these slates here so early was because the supplier said to us, if we don't order them and take them and have them on site, they couldn't guarantee they could give them to us and get them here when we wanted them. So they've been here since week 1. We're now week 8, and they're sitting here waiting to go on. So there you are. Thanks again for your attention, really appreciate it. Thanks for coming along to the meeting, and I'll answer any questions in a minute. Thanks very much. Bye bye.